Alright, Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great milestone that will well. And Shalom to you, Akim, that are teaching this word around the globe of faith and truth. This is the Baba Caleb from the GMS London Forecasters Camp coming back at you with another lesson to Lord willing edify the elect of the nation of Israel. As always, I'd like to start by saying that we are the real Hebrew Israelites. The real Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians and West Africans predominantly. However, you are going to get Israelites that do look like the other nations because Israel has been scattered amongst all people throughout our various captivities. But if your seed line by your forefathers goes back to the man in the Bible that was named Israel, then you too are an Israelite no matter what you may look like. It's like because the book of Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18 states that your nationality is determined by the lineage of your forefathers. So I'm just going to do a quick lesson here going into an article that was sent to me by my father, or my dad, I should say. I've only got one father, that's Yahweh, but you know, my dad sent me this article today, and it's from the Sun newspaper here in the UK, and it says, how about that? Now, this is something that many of us brothers in the truth have known for a long time, but obviously, the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is causing things to be revealed in these last days. So while we may have been privy to this knowledge, now it's being blown up in the mainstream. So it says, how about that? McDonald's sorry after customer found fragments of human teeth in his McMuffin. Whew. It says the white fragments have been sent away for analysis, and an investigation has been launched after the alleged find in Japan. Now, this article was published on the 9th of August 2018, but it's still pertinent to today. And I only read this article today, so let's get into it. It says McDonald's have launched an investigation after a customer claimed to have found tooth-like fragments in his Egg McMuffin. The alleged unwelcome discovery was made in Japan after a 58-year-old man bit into his sausage Egg McMuffin. Excuse me, Slovakia. Now that's going off anyway because you ain't supposed to be eating pork. That's against the law. But anyway, they found fragments of human teeth in the McMuffin. Now you got to ask yourself, how the hell did fragments of a human's teeth get in the meat? Well, part of the reason why fragments of human teeth are in the meat is because they're serving human meat in these restaurants. You know, they've done tests and they've found traces of human DNA in these McDonald's burgers and stuff like that. And this is nothing new to us because years ago, I think one guy called, was it Rabbi Finkelstein, came out saying, just confessing that basically they're grinding up human bodies and serving them to the people. Not only that, but a lot of the children that go missing and that are offered in ritual sacrifices, where do their bodies go? If they're not harvesting their organs and stuff, where does the rest of their body go? Ground up and fed right back to the people in these fast food restaurants, namely McDonald's. It says 2 flat fragments who found their way into the McMuffin have been sent away for analysis. The fast food company told local media they would investigate to find out where in the supply chain the white pieces entered into the patty and the customer was given a refund. Fucking hell, what's that? You spend what, £2.50 on a burger. Oh, you found human teeth in it. Oh shit, we're gonna give you £2.50 back. Fuck that shit, man. You dumbass. You shouldn't even be eating there in the first place, especially in these times, because it's not like this information is hidden anymore. This information's out there for those who are willing to do the research. So it says the inquiry could stretch all the way back to the United States, where meat in the McMuffin was reportedly processed. And here's another thing, yeah? A lot of these McDonald's restaurants are open around the clock 7 days a week. Where the hell are they getting all that meat from? You got to think about it. Because some of them are open, 24/7? Where the hell are they getting all that meat from? To have so much meat to be able to sell day in, day out, 24/7 non-stop. And it's not just in one branch. All these branches, where are they getting all their meat from? You got to think about this stuff. So it says, the fragments were sent away for analysis, and a McDonald's spokesperson told The Sun online food quality and safety was a top priority for the company. Yeah, whatever. They said this is an isolated matter. Right, sure. And the local team will continue to liaise directly with the customers as the investigation is carried out. After images of the teeth-like objects were posted online, some social media users commented how it would be how difficult the investigation would be. One comment read, "They'll have to check the dental records of everyone on the processing line." Another added, "Check the DNA. They will know for sure where it came from." Claims of claims of disturbing discoveries are not unheard of in the fast food. In April, a teen claimed to have been left disgusted after biting into his McDonald's burger to find a huge dead bug. Last month, an Australian man claimed to have found a hair and a safety pin sticking out of his KFC chicken. Fuck this shit, man. You don't want to be eating this shit, man. And earlier in the year, a couple accused Burger King of serving them food crawling with maggots, although the managers insisted the burger had been thoroughly cooked on the grill. Nah, man, you're best off not dealing with these places, man. But this goes back into a prophecy in Ezekiel about how we would eat our defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. Let's get that, where am I at? Let me just get this precept. Yeah, Ezekiel 4, verse 13. This is Ezekiel 4 and verse 13, and this goes back to Deuteronomy 28 also. It says, and Yahweh said, "Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." So let me read that again, Ezekiel 4:13. And Yahweh said, "Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." So we are, as Israelites, we are still in our captivity wherever in the world we may be. You know, if you're in the USA, if you're in Japan, if you're in Egypt, France, Germany, wherever you are, if you're an Israelite, we are still yet to this day in our captivity. And thus we will have to eat our defiled bread amongst the Gentiles. Now we can do our best that we can to eat healthily and according to the dietary laws, but even yet then, Esau's still doing his best to defile the food, because by defiling the food, he can defile us. For example, I remember one time I was eating a Cadbury's chocolate mousse, and something in the spirit just said to me, "Hang on a minute, check the ingredients." I looked at the back of the packet to see the ingredients list, and it said that it contained pork. I'm thinking, man, what the hell is this, man? Here I am just buying a simple chocolate mousse. Why would you need to flipping stealthily put pork up in there? And it all goes back to Esau trying to defile us, because when we sin, it kind of distances us from our power. It distances us from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. I use this analogy. Sin is kind of like kryptonite. For those of you who know about cinema, for those of you who know about Superman, Superman's weakness is kryptonite, and for us Israelites, our weakness is sin. You know, when you come into this truth, you're supposed to do your best to rehearse the righteous acts and adhere to the laws to the best of your ability. But Esau knows this, and that's why Esau will try and hide things in our food products to get us to go off. You know, that's why you've got to be very, very vigilant in these times. And even with the best intentions, you don't know what Esau's secretly putting in there, because you don't know what could have been injected into your meat products or any food products without them putting it on the label, because Esau's not going to come out and say, yeah, right, we're going to put human blood in this and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Yeah, Rabbi Finkelstein, if that's his name, he did come out years ago and say it, but he said it because he knew it was so incredible that people wouldn't believe it. You know, most of the Jake that I'm not gonna say 2/3. Most of the Jake who are asleep and they haven't woken up to the truth, and most of you other people in the world who aren't Israelites and you're still, sound asleep. You've got no idea the kind of fuckery that Esau is doing to you. People are starting to wake up more because pertaining to the prophecy in Daniel 2 and Daniel the 12th chapter. So like here, Daniel the 12th chapter talks about people will go to and fro and knowledge shall be increased. And we're in those times, partly because us prophets, the men of the Lord, are putting out these video epistles, and we've got a voice now to broadcast this truth. This truth is magnifying the earth, and all the things that are done in darkness are now being made manifest and come into the light. But this also goes back to the curses that we're under due to Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, starting from verse 15 right down to 68, because we didn't adhere to because we didn't keep the law, statutes and commandments that were given unto us by Moses at Mount Sinai. Therefore, Yahweh shall have brought all these things upon us. But it's all for our betterment, because the scriptures say, despise not the chastening of our Lord. You know, we have to go through the hell before we can enter into the paradise. Pertaining to Ezekiel, 2nd Ezra, 6th chapter? No, 2nd Ezra 7. Let me just get it for edification's sake. And I'll close out on that, maybe. 2nd Ezra 7. Yeah, here it is. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me an angel, which had been sent to me the night afore. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case that the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also, see, this is the thing, we've got to go through these difficult times. You know, our enemies serving us death on a plate. You know, they're poisoning the air with chemtrails. They're all the children's. So you got a little child, you want to let your child watch children's TV. They're putting flipping LGBTQ agendas in that stuff, trying to get your children to turn into sodomites. And then you send your child to the public school system. They're indoctrinating your child. They're indoctrinating your children to be Edomized, and then they're serving them all this shit food for school dinners, where you don't know what the hell's in that, and they're serving it to your child. Then on top of that, you think that you're going to the shop to buy some, or let's say you go to a takeaway restaurant, you think, oh yeah, I'm a bit pressed for time, let me get McDonald's or something, just get something to eat. Yeah, well, guess what? That food is defiled, and they're putting human meat in the meat products. They're putting human bodies in the burgers and stuff like that. See, where we are in a position where we desperately need salvation from Yahushua, because we can't deliver ourselves from this captivity. I mean, you've got some of these Israelites thinking about how they're going to build New Nazareth on this side, try and build up their communities on this side, but hang on a minute, we're still in hell. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you did build an Israelite community. What, you're not going to have McDonald's running up in your spot, trying to put a restaurant there? What are you going to do? Say to McDonald's, no, you can't build here. You think you could stop them? You ain't got that kind of clout to be able to stop these big corporations from coming in, buying up the place and putting you out of business, because our business is accursed anyway. Because again, pertaining to the curses of Deuteronomy 28, we're not going to prosper in this world. Therefore, the right spirit that we should be in is the Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It will destroy you, even with a sore destruction. So basically, we are being destroyed on every side. So we desperately need salvation from Yahushua, which is going to be coming soon, Lord willing. You know, please Yahushua, come quickly this year if possible. You know, but to be honest, Esau's at the end of his rope, man. If you look at the signs and the prophecies, Esau ain't got much further to go before he's going to be taken out of power. And it's going to be great. But let me finish this and I'll close out. It says, there's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass through the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance, And that's the position we're in right now. We are in a position of difficulty, but we've got to go through this difficulty in order to enter into the blessings which were ordained for us from the very beginning, you know. And I said, It is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of the world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. That's what our lives are like, full of perils and very evil. For the entrances of the older world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If they that live labour not to enter these strait and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing that thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind that this thing is to come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, There is no judge above the Most High, and none that have understanding above the Highest. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them. For the Most High have given straight commandment, such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should do to observe and avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Highest, He is not, and knew not his ways. But his law have they despised, and denied his covenants in his statutes, and they have not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore Ezra's, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she shall coming forth shall be seen. Now that is withdrawn from the earth, and the bride represents the elect of the nation of Israel coming to meet Yahushua. And whosoever is delivered from these foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my son Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these shall my son Yahushua die, that all men shall live. That's talking about when Yahushua is put on the cross. And the world shall be turned into the old silent 7 days, like as the former judgment, so that no man shall remain. And after 7 days the world that yet awaketh not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. The earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, so shall the dust that those dwell in silence, and the secret places shall deliver the souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear in the seat, upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But only judgment shall remain, truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. So that's what we're looking forward to. And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shewed, and the good deeds shall be of force, and the wicked deeds shall bear no rule. There we go. So that's what we're coming into, man. That's what we're praying for. We hope for a world. We look for a world to come wherein dwelleth righteousness. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. That is where our faith is at, in the deliverance and the promises given unto us by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. That's what we're fighting for through the Spirit, and that's what we believe in. That's what our hope is, because this world is done, man. There's no future here. If you was to go back into the world, where are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Eat these flipping human burgers? Call that life? This ain't life, man. This is death. You know, and the scriptures say, all those that hate me love death. But yeah, just a quick lesson. Lord, when it was edifying, so with that, giving all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Makakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, all well. And shalom to you, Akim, teaching this word with faith and truth and in sincerity. Until the next lesson I do, Lord willing, I say shalom, wa ba ba ba, wa kum shalom for now.